Hi guys, when the news broke that Labour had won a massive majority last week, there was a lot of celebration within certain circles, of course. However, while the number of MPs is massive, and this was on full display in the House of Commons this week, MP Barry Gardiner was right to describe it as a thin majority. You see, a lot of the seats Labour won were with majorities of less than 10,000, meaning that there's a real risk that they could be flipped at a by-election or at the next general election. Have a listen to this.
And it's not just the Conservative Party that needs to be extremely wary of the fragmentation of our electoral system at the moment. It's also the Labour Party. Because we know that we've got this wonderful majority, and I'm thrilled, you know, it really does enable you to do things in government when you've got that big majority. But equally, we should be aware that if you had added the seats, or the votes rather, for reform and the votes for the Conservative Party, in many of those seats, we would not have actually won. And that means that we have a thin majority from the point of view of electoral politics.
Well, as they said, it's shallow and wide. We're going to talk about this in more detail later on, but Andrew.
Very, very important to remember that in this election, only 60% of the people who actually voted either Labour or Conservative. And if you take the entire electorate, only a fifth of people voted for the government that won this huge majority. We have to remember that.
So two things to remember there. First, low turnout is very concerning. But the other concern, of course, is what happens if Reform and the Tories form some sort of pact at a by-election or at the next general election. This could harm Labour's majority. They could also merge into one party. You know, we've heard before the general election how certain Tories would like to invite Nigel Farage into the Conservative Party and make him leader. And I do think if he does get in that door, if he is able to get into the Conservative Party some way, it will be pretty quick in the membership of the party deciding that he would be the best leader for them. Now, it's also important for Labour to look at his left flank because, as we saw, a number of seats were lost to independent candidates who were running on the left. So while the media will tend to focus on Nigel Farage and the Conservatives, Labour also need to look at making sure that they keep left-wing voters happy. So Labour have a bit of a challenge ahead of them. They need to keep the right happy, it seems. They need to keep the left happy. But I think principally they need to fix the economy. They need to show that they're actually improving things. Because if they don't, they're going to lose support to the left and to the right. And once again, people like Nigel Farage, it's easy for them to sit on the sidelines and say you should be doing X, Y, and Z because he knows he will never really be challenged. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.